What's up, y'all? We back again. You see my sister over here. She ain't trying to be seen, but she over there. But act like she ain't there. But we are here for episode 8. As y'all already know, you see it from the title. Not much to really say in terms of this intro, but y'all know what the deal is. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below. Subscribe if you have not already. Share the video. We're trying to run up the bag. What little bag YouTube gives me, that's what it is. But you know what the deal is. Let's go ahead and get on into it. So we get back from the Razor and Stunna girl private jet fight. So Razor's getting off the jet. She finally got her wig because, as she said in the last episode, she is not getting off that jet until she has her wig. She got her wig on. She's pissed off still, screaming still. And Lo is saying how she wants to disassociate herself from these girls because all this fighting, especially when they're fighting on the private jet. Which, in a way, I can understand where she's coming from because, I mean, it's looking real ghetto at this point because who's fighting on a private jet? But she's doing that. Natalie is now trying to calm off Razor, who is in the bus, because they done had to drop the plane down from out of the air. I don't even know if they were in the air, but they done stopped and got them off the jet so they can get on the bus and get to where they were trying to get to. Which I'm assuming they were already in Arizona. I don't know for sure, but I think that they were already in Arizona. And the fight happened while they were landed. I want to say that, but I don't know for sure. But that's what we're gonna assume. So the rest of the girls getting in the bus with Razor, and Stunna is getting in another bus because they just separating her from Razor because Razor going off. Like, she is pissed off, going off, and you can tell she's drunk, as we already know. And Natalie is saying, like, y'all need to calm it down because we're not fighting on no jets because I'm not getting on the no-fly list because if I'm associated with y'all doing all this, it don't look good for me. It don't look good for y'all, especially you, Razor, because you got 2 businesses and stuff. And this was the first, y'all know Razor is one of my favorites on the show. So this was the first time I cannot deny how crazy she was looking. And she do need to put that liquor bottle down. That's just one thing I will say. They're going to get into it a little bit later throughout the episode. But she definitely get a little bit too rowdy and too crazy when it comes to that alcohol and that liquid courage. But that's what they're trying to do. Her and Lo, Nat and Lo are on the bus with her, trying to calm her down. Scotty ends up getting on there eventually, but those two are in there trying to calm her down. She is not hearing it. She's screaming, she's hollering, she's doing all that stuff. And Stunna is in the bus with the security guard, just getting it off her chest as well, just like going off, saying, like, you're not about to sit here and tell me what to do. Like, you the type of person too, how you be out here fighting on the buses and stuff. And it's like, so how are you gonna sit here and try and tell me what to do when you do the same thing and you just did it on this bus or on this flight? Which I can see, like, in terms of that, I can see where she's coming from, but I see where Razor was trying to come from before it all got to what it did. And like y'all was saying too, like, everybody's grown adults and stuff, and each one of them has things about themselves that if somebody's trying to tell me you need to stop doing this and you need to stop doing that when you still doing it, I see where she's coming from. When I'm saying she, I'm talking about Stunna. But regardless of the fact of the matter is who's saying what and who's the messenger, the message still stands, and it applies to Razor as well. Like, certain things should not get you this out of shape to where you sit here fighting everybody about it. And like I said last week, you cannot like somebody and just coexist and not really have to fight each other. And that's the thing I've seen a lot of people saying too. She don't have to like Biggie and whatnot. And she don't have to like the rest of the girls. And if she want to fight them, she can fight them if she wants to. Yes, that is true. But sometimes you got to be able to exist and coexist just to get the money. Like, that's the reason why they're here. But that was just what was going on there. But meanwhile, while they're having this commotion on the ground in the bus on the way to Arizona, the rest of the girls that are having fun, getting to know each other, that's literally what they're doing. But Sky ends up saying she realizes, like, where's Krishan at? Of course, she's the one that's looking for Krishan because Krishan is her buck buddy. Or should I say she is Krishan's buck buddy, aka her sidekick. But they ended up getting her on the phone. Krishan is in LA because she got a court date. But she says she's gonna end up meeting them in Arizona. So that's when she gonna come. Krishan moves when Krishan wants to. And I feel like these producers don't check her about it because they know she don't care. And they know she will quit the show. I feel like she will quit the show. If they try to tell her what to do, she will quit the show. But they know they want to keep her on the show because she's bringing the ratings. She's bringing the eyes. And I mean, I guess I see it, but it's annoying to watch, truth be told. She needs to be there with the rest of them. If you on the cast, I still stand on what I've been saying the past couple of weeks. If you're going to sign up to do the show, you need to be there the entire filming session. But that is that situation. But Rolly ends up saying that she wanted to have like a get to know you session with them where they always opening up about each other and opening up about what they got going on and just like stuff that they haven't really talked about. And Rolly said that she, what did she say? She said she suffers from depression. And she says when she's by herself, like just looking at her right now, you wouldn't expect that she is the type of person that suffers from it because she's so lively, outgoing. You know, you just know how Rolly is. But she said that when she's by herself, she gets into a depressive state because she was in a homeless shelter with her child for 3 months. Tommie sitting there saying how she loves who Rolly is. Like she said, Rolly's so confident. She stands on what she stands on. She is who she is. And Rolly was saying too that she smokes a lot just to not think about it whenever she's depressed, which was a nice little eye opener because you can understand that. A lot of people do that. Sky ends up talking about how she lost her dad to COVID, which then got Kat talking about losing her best friend also to COVID. He put her on her first magazine cover. He put her on the money. Like he's played a big factor in her success, clearly. So she was upset about that. Tommie was saying like, everybody already knows my story, which is the truth. We already know. You can Google Tommie. You can see what she's been through, all the mugshots. And then Biggie was saying she was bullied in school. She said it wasn't until she started working in clubs that most people started to fuck with her like that and respect her. She said that she was too Latin to be around the Black girls and she was too Black to be around the Latin girls. That we've heard from numerous people from numerous different experiences. So I can believe that. But they ended up having that fun moment and they ended up going to bed. So we get back in the car over there in Arizona. Razor is still going off, screaming, yelling. She's saying that she don't want Scotty near her. She realized that Scotty is literally sitting right next to her. And she's drunk. And like I said, she's drunk. And that's where I'm like, I want to give her a pass for it, but then I can't give her a pass for it because it's like, in this moment, she was kind of acting how she was trying to tell Stunna not to act. I hate having to say it, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to address it. Like whenever she's doing something that she literally is making herself look like a hypocrite, you got to address it. And that's what happened. She told Scotty she needed to get away from her. Scotty got up, and I respect Scotty for it. She didn't even pipe back at her, which is what I said the last time why I was not really rocking with Scotty. But what she did, you can clearly tell Razor was drunk in that fight that they had. And in this moment, you can clearly tell she's drunk. And you can tell Scotty's like, okay, look, I done seen this already. I'm not about to give it to you again. I'm not trying to do this. So she ends up getting up. Razor's still going off, talking about how she don't fuck with her. She don't want her near her, da-da-da. She's pissed. Obviously, Razor is just drunk. Like she's literally speaking her drunken mind. And maybe she feels that way deep down inside because drunken thoughts do speak sober minds. But it is what it is. Like she's literally going off. Natalie and Lo are just sitting there looking at her. And it's like, you can tell they want to say something, but it's just like, it's not even worth it at this point. Because you can tell she's drunk. She's not going to hear what she's trying to say. But she ends up saying that she's going to call Stunna Girl, or call Krishan to get on Stunna Girl, which I didn't like that. Because and Scott even said it too, like, why are you calling somebody to fight your own battle? But then Razor in the confessional, the sober Razor is saying she's calling Krishan because her and Stunna Girl are cool, and she like get your girl, like tell her like why she can't allow other people to give her constructive criticism. You talking to the wrong person because Krishan is the same way. She can't take constructive criticism. She will get up and hit you the minute you say something that she don't like. So I was like, that's very ironic. But that's what she did. She was screaming, telling her to go talk to her about it. And yeah, that was pretty much it for that. They finally end up arriving to the house in Arizona. So they ended up getting there. Natalie gets them off the bus saying there is no more fight. We're not doing this. It's 11 a.m. It's 1 a.m. We're not fighting. Go in there, get in your room and go to bed. And Razor sitting there saying, like, I think she was joking when she said it, but she was saying that she wanted to go talk to Stunna Girl when Stunna Girl was getting off the bus. Obviously, Natalie was like, no, we're not doing that. Go in the house, go find your room. So they go in there looking for their room. Of course, Natalie got a nice room. Her room was big, like real big. The house looked nice too. I will say that it did look nice. It was pretty furnished, pretty well furnished, more furnished than any of the other Airbnbs that they've been having. So that was cool. But yeah, so then Lo ended up going up there with Razor, and Razor sitting in there saying she can't be excited about it because she's still hot, she's still pissed off, which I can't understand because when I get upset, I can't just act like I can't turn it off. Like 3 minutes later, I'm not gonna tell you I'm smiling, I'm happy, and I'm not gonna drop it. Like I'm gonna have to have a couple hours for me to cool off, kind of analyze what just happened. If I was in the wrong, I typically do go back and apologize for it. But it is what it is. You got to give me time to like cool off. And that's what Razor was saying. And Lo was like, because she in there screaming and saying, like, I don't want nobody near me, da da da. She's talking to Lo too. And y'all already know that her and Lo are cool. And the thing that I respect about Lo is Razor was screaming at her and she could have easily piped back at her. But you can tell Lo realizes like this is what she's doing right now in this moment. She can tell she's drunk as well. I'm not even going to fight with you. I know you just directing it at me and it's misdirected, but I'm going to allow you to have this moment. So I'm going to walk out. So she walked out. Razor was telling security to get up out of there. She don't want no cameras and da da da. So they ended up leaving her. So then Scotty is in the room with Sky in bunk bed. So she's mad. And I can already tell this is where it's going to turn with her and Natalie. Because Scotty is essentially Natalie's best friend out of everybody on this cast coming into this. Like out of everybody else that's on the cast this season, now Scotty is the one that's like the closest to her. So you would think she would have her own nice room. You would think that, but not. Because Natalie is the reason why these rooms are what they are and who's been assigned what. So that's essentially Natalie's doing. So Scotty might possibly take offense to that and start to realize certain things, which is probably going to twist into that fight that they have later on. But we'll see. That's my opinion. That's what I think is happening. So then Natalie ends up going to talk to Stunna. And when I say talk to Stunna, she literally said in her confessional she's going to talk to her, but she ended up going down there, sitting down there with her for like 2 seconds and was like, nah, we're going back inside to go to our rooms because the rest of the girls are about to be here and I'm about to go hide and get up in my bed and not have to talk to nobody because she thinks there might be some drama that might be happening there too. Long story short, the rest of the girls, they arrive to the house. They love the house. Kat, Rolly, they get their own rooms. Biggie is in the bunk bed with Sky. She is pissed. She walking around the house looking like, where's the other rooms at? I'm not living in no bunk bed. And Tommie ends up saying like she likes the fact that all the girls are on, like all the girls that were in the bus with her are on that side of the house with her because she got the bond with them. She wants them over there with her. She likes their energy and whatever. Biggie saying she's gonna try and sleep in Tommie's room with Tommie, I guess. We'll see if that actually happens because you already know Tommie is not going for that because Tommie wants her own quarters, as she said in her confessional. But the next day, we get Natalie and Tommie. They are downstairs in the kitchen. Of course, Natalie got to fill Tommie in on what happens. Tommie fills Natalie in on what happened. Natalie's thinking there might have been some drama on that end because there's drama on her end. Tommie lets her know that was the complete opposite. Like they was having fun. They were getting to know each other. They went and robbed the bank. Well, not robbed the bank. They went and fake robbed the store, which that's not ain't no way they robbed that store and put it on camera. And it had to have been staged to me. To my thought process, that's what it was. But Tommie pretty much lets her know like they all had a moment. They all got vulnerable. They got to share stuff about each other. Natalie is floored. She's like, I'm gonna have to go get on the bus with them now. That's not gonna happen. But Natalie's got to play it up because you know what she's doing. But she then fills Tommie in on the Stunna and Razor fight. So then she ended up showing Tommie a recording from her phone. Of course, Natalie is sitting there recording it as all of this is happening because Natalie's excited about it. She's trying to act like she ain't happy about it, but she deep down inside is excited because she knows it's gonna make her some money. That's gonna bring ratings whenever the trailer came out. But she ended up showing it to her and saying that like when Razor drinks, you get a different Razor. Tommie said the same thing. She's like, she asked Natalie if she had the conversation with Razor about the drinking, and Natalie was like, no, I didn't get the chance to do it because she was still going off and stuff. And Natalie was like, I ain't doing it in that moment because it's pointless because like she's not gonna listen to what I got to say. So she then tells Tommie that she wants Tommie to be there whenever she does have that conversation with her. And Tommie says she wants to be there because she kind of understands where Razor's coming from because she's been there. Like she's been there where she's drank to deal with certain things. And she says she could tell Razor been through a lot. So of course, she's naturally going to be one of the ones that wants to be there to talk to her about it because she can relate to her on it. But they ended up talking about how they're going to go partying later on in Phoenix. And then apparently they're going to Scottsdale as well. So they're going to be in Arizona for a couple episodes. And they sold out the club. And Natalie tells Tommie if somebody gets in there and fights or fucks up something in there, they're going home. Keep that in mind that I just said that she said that because later on it's going to be very interesting because somebody did get involved in some mess. It looks like next week. And that somebody is Tommie. So we'll see if Tommie goes home. Natalie said it out her mouth. If somebody does something that fucks something up, they going home. Tommie, she said it to Tommie. We'll see if she stands on that. But the next scene, we got Kat and Stunna. They're outside pretty much filling each other in because that's the first time they were not together the entire time filming so far, because Kat was with the girls on the bus and Stunna was on the fight on the jet. So Kat fills her in on the activities they did. Stunna fills Kat in on the situation with her and Razor. It's just a lot of just like back and forth. You already know how Zeus is. When something crazy happens, they all got to get their own point of view. That's basically what happened. Stunna was saying, like, she's sitting here trying to tell me about myself when she be doing the same stuff. Kat says she understands where Stunna's coming from, not wanting to be treated like a child, being told what to do when she's an adult as well, whatever. But Kat says she's glad that that's over and done with so they can go out and have fun in Phoenix. So then the next scene, we get Rolly outside with Biggie and Lo, pretty much doing the same thing, rehashing everything. Rolly asked about what happened. Lo was filling them in. They both said the same thing that Natalie and Tommie just said. Like when Razor drinks, it's a different situation. Razor got she got a lot to lose. Rolly was saying we all got a lot to lose, but Razor got businesses, like lots of successful businesses, and you on TV getting drunk and fighting, which essentially that's what everybody else is doing. But I see where Rolly's point is, because she does have a lot to lose essentially, but I don't think that's gonna, Razor is a hairstylist. That's not going to, I don't think it's going to kill her business, because I guarantee she ain't gonna be drunk doing somebody's hair. And looking at Razor, you want somebody, me in general, if I was a woman, I would think, okay, well, Razor, looking at her, she looks good, so why would you not want to go to her to get your hair done? That's just me thinking that way. But that's neither here nor there. But I did notice in this scene too, because Zeus is notorious for doing these like zoom in shots. Why did they zoom in on Biggie's facial hair? Like it was deep down here. It's more than mine. But I just noticed that Zeus is shady for that. But the next scene, we get Razor and Tommie, and they sitting down there, and Tommie basically feels like she has a deep connection. Well, not a deep connection, but a real connection with Razor. So she said she wanted to talk to her. So she went down there and talked to her, and pretty much was telling her, like, this is not the look that you want. Like, you got so much going for you. This ain't the way you want to go out looking on TV. So Razor was saying she don't want it to feel like alcohol is the problem, which in a way it is, because like they all said, because Natalie came down as well as Scotty, which I thought was interesting. Like, why are you bringing Scotty down after she just did all that? But Razor is not drunk now. And in this instance, she's not going to act a fool. Nala wanted to come in here, y'all. Say hey to Nala with her comb. But so yeah, they come down there, and Natalie is pretty much co-signing what Tommie was saying. And Razor was asking them, like, how did you feel about the situation? Because y'all were there. And Natalie was saying the same thing, like, when you have a few drinks, you kind of cool, like you're calm, like you're having fun. But once you get a little bit more in your system, you get louder, you get more aggressive, and it becomes a problem. And Razor was saying, you can't say that because it doesn't happen every time. This was only one time that it happened. And Natalie was like, no, I got to remind you, it happened twice. You did it again. Which, like I said, I still stand on why I felt Razor was validated in how she felt the first time, because she felt violated. Regardless if other people feel like she blew it out of proportion, she felt violated. If she didn't want to be touched by Scotty, she didn't want to be touched by Scotty. Granted, she was drunk, and she definitely continued to want to fight, which could be an issue, but she felt violated. She's going to do what she wants to do in that moment. But in this instance, I definitely agree with them where it was too much. Like, this was not necessary. But yeah, so Natalie was like, stay in boss mode. Like, she's pretty much saying the same thing that everybody else has been saying. Razor got a lot going for herself too, where she don't need to be on the show doing that. Scotty ends up talking as well, saying that she notices that when Razor is upset and she's got all that liquor in her, she looks at Scotty and kind of like snaps, and she doesn't know if there's a trigger or whatnot. And I can see Razor looking like, what are you talking about? Like, don't even start trying to say I'm triggered by you. But Razor admitted that it might have been the alcohol, because she says she respects her. She don't want to have no more beef with her. Like, when she said that she deaded that, she deaded that. And Scotty was like, okay, like, she respects her. She's saying this to her. But Scotty in her confessionals is saying, like, y'all might believe what she's saying right now. Like, It's not gonna happen again, but she's gonna do what she wants to do. She's gonna drink if she wants to drink, and whenever it happens, it happens. But I'm gonna keep my guard up. I respect what Scotty was saying there. Like, I just wish she would have said it to her, or maybe not, because that would have started a whole situation. But where she was coming from, I understand it. So they ended up finishing up that little scene. The next scene is the last scene. We get them well, no, it's not. Well, yeah, it is. They are getting ready to go out. So Natalie gets them together, and Natalie comes down with the stacks of cash. And I could tell looking at it, it was not that much. You can tell it was $20,000, which is what it was. And then you look at 20 G's and you got 11 girls splitting 20 G's. Split that 11 ways. That's like what, 2,000 a piece, maybe 1,500 a piece, maybe. But Natalie gets them together, and she's talking about how they're going to try and figure out who's getting what and who's getting what end of that money. So they're meeting, everybody's excited. They see the money, and it's like, okay, so how much is really there? Because we got 11 girls here. How are we going to split that? Because I need my money. So they ask Sky how she's feeling about the situation or whatever, because Natalie's trying to get them together to kind of have some structure in terms of whenever they go out and perform. So nobody's going to just do surprise performances and whatnot. We're going to have it all lined out. We're going to have it mapped out, which is what they should be doing, essentially, even though it's not like a concert like they're trying to make it out to be, which we'll get to later on. But so yeah, Sky was basically saying, no, I'm not doing no more singles no more. I'll just stick to DJing or whatever. So they was like, okay, that's cool. Lo was saying how she wants to perform even though her single is not complete, which I can understand her wanting to perform because she wants to continue to get herself out there to people to know that she's actually a musician and she's doing music. But if she don't have nothing ready, I see where Natalie was coming from, because she's like, no, I love you, but if it's not done, if the single's not done, we ain't doing it, because like we don't need to have any unfinished product on the stage, like when we're trying to perform, which I understand. So I wasn't completely upset about that. But she asked Stunna if she's performing. This part right here was funny. She asked Stunna if she was performing, and Stunna was like, nah, I don't feel good, like I got a fever. And while she's saying that, Biggie is sitting in the confessional saying that she is not sick. She is coming off that lean. She is not sick. She is withdrawing. When she said that, I was too weak. But that was a funny moment. Natalie ends up saying as well after that Biggie is going to be hyping the crowd. Kat is going to be pouring drinks. Who else? Rolly is going to open the show. So she's going to be doing the performances or whatever. She's going to be the opening act. Krishan is going to be in the middle doing the second performance, which is supposed to be the closer. And then Tommie is going to be a surprise guest. And then she says the rest of the girls are supposed to be hyping the crowd, which would be Razor. Who else? Razor, Low. Who else am I missing? Razor, Low. I guess the rest of them, whatever. But they're supposed to be hyping the crowd. Krishan still ain't even there, which I find interesting too. But Lo was saying, okay, now let's start talking about this money. Like, how are we getting paid when we're trying to split this $20,000? Natalie says it's 20 G's, is all they made, and they're going to be splitting it with 11 girls. Tommie got up because she is irritated with the whole thought of even having to split that money, because 20 G's is what she's used to getting whenever she does bookings. So Natalie ends up going to get her, and as she's getting her, they still talking about, like, how's this money going to be split? And Rolly feels like the performer should get the bigger cut, which I can understand where she's coming from. But Lo also said, like, it's not a concert. It's not being branded as X, Y, and Z is performing and we just here hosting. It's like a flyer with all of us on here. And that's literally what it is, which is where I can see where she's coming from. Because it's like, I can see where they're coming from with saying, like, we're performing as well as hosting, where y'all are just sitting here hosting, which is why they got to get it all together. I'm glad they're having this meeting, because once you have that structure, whenever you have performers lined up, you can actually put that on the flyer and say, hey, this is what's going on here. This is who's performing what, and this is what this is. And then you can kind of like try and deal with the bookings. Like, you can tell, okay, well, this person's going to be performing, so maybe we can negotiate a bigger deal for this person, whereas the other people might be trying to do this, and you're not in each other's pockets either. So that's going to be good for that instance. But Tommie and Nat, they come back inside. Lo pretty much reiterates the same thing she just said, like, the flyer's not being advertised that way. So if you saying that y'all are performers and y'all should be getting paid more money, maybe y'all should be on that flyer being promoted as performers. But we're all on the same page as all being promoted as the host of the show. So we all should be getting paid at least the same amount of money. Tommie ain't happy about it. Tommie says she's been in the game too long to be making the same as you. She's saying, like, you feel like you should be making the same amount of money as me after all that I've been through, all this all this work that I put into the industry and da 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 da. And I'm like, Tommie, when it comes to hosting, I agree with what Lo's saying. Like, y'all are literally being branded as hosts. Like, if you're being branded as hosts as an ensemble cast, I feel like everybody should be making the same amount of money. That's just me speaking. But Tommie, to me, in this instance, it felt like Tommie was thinking she's like a Nicki Minaj type rapper. And it's just like, you're not there, Tommie. Like, you're not even like at a mid girl rapping. Like, cause I never really knew Tommie even did music until the show. So that's the interesting part to me. Maybe other people did, but Tommie's not a top rap girl. You don't hear her name like that. You hear Krishan more than you hear Tommie. And when I'm saying you hear Krishan, she's actually in more conversations with the girls that are out right now rapping than Tommie is. I'm pretty sure this is the first time a lot of us have known that Tommie does music. But they ended up getting into it. Tommie got irritated because Lo was standing on what she was saying. Tommie was standing on what she was saying. Rolly was backing Tommie because Rolly feels the same way. Like, performers should be making more money. But they kind of got to the point where Tommie got up, kicking the shoes off, getting real aggressive, which was sad because the past 2 episodes, Tommie was on like this, like, we all gonna get together, the kumbaya moment. And she went back to ready to snap. But that was the end of that episode. Next week, they end up finally getting to the club. Krishan and Blueface show up. Tommie ends up slapping a fan, which is what I was talking about. She slapped one of the fans while she was on the stage. And Natalie said herself, if somebody does something while we out, they going home. We're going to see if she stands on that and Tommie goes home, which we know did not happen because the next scene they showed, I think it was Tommie, might have been Tommie, Biggie, and Natalie outside, or maybe Tommie and Rolly. I can't remember who it was. But they was outside talking about it as well, laughing or whatever. Who else? Krishan and Stunna were talking, and Krishan was basically saying they just felt like you could tell Krishan like Stunna, and you could tell that they realize that they are a lot alike. When it comes to certain things, they act exactly alike. They both don't like to be told what to do, and that's kind of what she was saying. And she said that she feel like that's why they coming at her, because she gonna do what she wants to do, and they don't like the fact that she gonna do what she wants to do and don't care what they have to say about it. But Stunna, they ended up sitting at a dinner table. It was like they all at dinner. And Stunna talking about she want to fight Tommie and Biggie. And of course, Tommie get up like, okay, let's go. And that was it. That was it. That was the end of the episode. The episode was not too much to really talk about, so I'm not going live tonight. But y'all can drop the comments down below. Tell me what y'all thought about the episode. Tell me what y'all think about next week, what y'all think is going to happen. And yeah, I tried to fly through this because I'm tired. And this thing back here is trying to cook and she's not trying to be seen. That's why I'm trying to hold my arms out. But I will see y'all next week. Drop the comments, follow, like, subscribe. All my links will be there. Y'all know what to do. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace.